Good morning, Columbus, and welcome to another edition of From Our House to Your Home, the Remodeler Showcase. My name is Marty Reed. I'm your host, and the show is brought to you by Frog Hauling. If you want to clean your basement, your garage, your yard, give Frog Hauling a call. And if you're a remodeler and only the nicest product in the marketplace will do for your customer, and you don't want to pay for more dumpster than you need, give Frog Hauling a call. It's a great Sunday morning, and today I have what I consider to be a unique guest on our show, and I'm excited about this. You know, typically, if you listen to the show, which I hope a lot of people do, they listen to remodelers talk about the remodeling process and what are the latest and the greatest trends in remodeling. And then we bring on product suppliers, and they talk about the new colored refrigerators or whatever the heck it is that's out in the marketplace. But today we have something unique. It's something that we never think about until it happens. And then we go into a panic. Now, I know I would go into a panic, okay, if I had to call you guys and use your service. So in thinking about this, I said, this is actually a very good thing to bring this type of company onto the show, because people don't think about this stuff until it happens. So what am I talking about here this morning? I'm talking about a company called Drypatrol, and what they are is they're an emergency response company. And I have two folks with me today. I have Brian. Now, let's see if I get this right. You can't tell me how to say your last name.
I won't tell you.
Daughtry.
That's correct.
Now, how do I know that? Wasn't there a show on TV? Who was it?
Maybe somebody by the name of Chris.
American Idol.
Yeah.
Chris Daughtry, right? The guy made it big. So your name is pronounced just like his, right?
Yes, it is. That's correct.
Okay. And we also have with us Bob Harris.
Yep.
Okay.
Harris.
Now,
You pronounced it correctly.
I got an easy one. Come on, man. Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot now. You're getting paid back for that. But here's how we do this. As the audience knows, you get to introduce yourself on a personal level. So I'm going to start with you first, Brian. You can tell us anything you want to tell us about yourself, as long as that's all good. How's that? Okay, go
That's
ahead.
fair. That's fair. My name is Brian Daughtry, and I'm the owner of Drypatrol. And again, we are a water, fire, mold, and biohazard restoration company covering all of Central Ohio. And I'm married. I have 4 children, and I'm an avid hunter and fisherman.
Fisherman. Okay. You can come back to the show again.
Yeah.
I'm an avid fisherman, too.
Well, so am I.
Oh, yeah? Do you fly fish?
It makes my arms very tired, but I try.
Okay. I have 4 sons, and I sent them to the Orvis Fly Fishing School up in Maine.
Nice.
And I sent my wife, too, because I was tired of tying the fly on the fly rod. And so Mom got to go, and the 4 boys, and all of my, well, I shouldn't say that. You know, they all take it on. But I have 2 that I call the master fishermen, and I've taken them everywhere. I mean, I've taken them to Colorado, Canada, and if you ever want to know how to fish the Scioto River, I'm telling you, they're magicians. They take me down there and go, right there, Dad, and boom, big bass.
Nice.
I
Every
love
time.
it. I love it because I love to fish, but I don't have the knack for it. But anyways, we're getting off the topic. Okay, Bob, it's your turn. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name's Bob Harris, and I'm the general manager for Drypatrol. I as well am married. Been married since 1996 to my wife Janine. We have 2 children, both boys, Ben and Grant. They're 7 and 9 years old. A couple of dogs that we've had for quite some time, and we love camping as well. I like
when
fishing.
you get
and-
away from this emergency response stuff, right?
You know, it does make a difference when you're camping and the call comes in. But that's what we do. We're here to help people. So, camping's a very large part of what personally we like to do.
Okay.
On a very regular basis, almost every weekend. So,
Good.
yep, it's a lot of fun.
You do get away from broken pipes then every now and then.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is, as I said, Drypatrol is an emergency response company. And they're the folks that I guess you don't really think of until, oh my gosh, there's water pouring out through the ceiling. Or my company, for example, gets a ton of calls at least twice a year. And it's when we have that torrential downpour, and people call us and they go, and I know when it's going to happen. When we have those 3 days of rain and the 3 inches of rain or 4 inches of rain, they call to get a dumpster because guess what? The water backed up in the basement, ruined whatever the heck was on the floor, the carpet, and then it starts going from there where they're tearing the drywall out because that nasty black mold starts to appear, all those kind of things. So I'm familiar with what you guys do. Okay, what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to talk in great detail about what your responsibilities are when this happens, how you approach the problem, what's the first call you make, all those kind of things. And then we're going to also talk about the process that Drypatrol uses and how you work with customers. Does that sound fair?
Yes, sir.
Will that hit it all? Okay, well, let's take a break. We'll hear from one of our sponsors. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Marty Reed, and I'm the owner of Frog Hauling. We are Columbus's only green residential mini dumpster service. If you want to clean your garage, you want to clean your basement, or maybe clean your yard, give Frog Hauling a call, 258-3764. At Frog Haul, we also service contractors, and if only the best product will do for your customer, give Frog Hauling a call. Visit us at froghauling.com or call us at 614-258-3764.
If you've changed jobs in the last few years, there's a pretty good chance you still have a 401k with a previous employer. Hey, it's Dino, and I realize that a lot of people have no idea what they should do with those accounts. That's where my friend Mike Martinez can help. Mike and the team at The Pension Group can explain what your options are, then help you decide which one is best for you. Don't leave your retirements to chance. Call Mike today at 614-423-4600 or visit thepensiongroup.com. That's 614-423-4600.
Welcome back, everyone. Once again, we are talking with Brian Daughtry, not the infamous one from American Idol, and Bob Harris of Drypatrol. Okay, it's time to get serious. We had a little fun in the first segment, but we're here to talk about your company. Okay, your company is an emergency response company.
That's correct.
One of the things I found interesting is how you got into this business. It's a personal story. So share with the audience what happened to you and what got you involved with Drypatrol.
A little over 2 years ago, I set my sights on doing my own thing, becoming my own boss, and control of my own destiny. And I walked away from the merchant credit card processing industry that I'd been an executive in for more than 20 years. Total different profession for sure, to say the least. And I had a very open mindset as to what was going to be next. So I started doing due diligence on a number of different opportunities, and ironically, at the same time, in a period of less than a year, suffered 4 major water losses in my personal home and dealt with several different restoration companies, all of which did their job, but none of which brought any extra compassion, professionalism, or trust to myself and my family at a time when we felt like we needed that most.
Okay.
It's never a good time for folks when they're suffering a loss in their home, short of a death in the family. It's often one of the most, if not the most, tragic experiences they go through. So I thought, okay, maybe all this is happening for a reason, and I really started to focus more on the restoration industry in specific. And one thing led to another, and I uncovered the opportunity with Drypatrol. I was just about to partner with another very large franchise of dominant one throughout the nation, and met a gentleman by the name of Brett Oakley, who is out of Carlisle, Ohio, and is the founder and owner of Drypatrol. And we hit it off very well and struck a partnership, and here we are now, just a bit over a year old, and have a well-established footprint here in Central Ohio.
Okay, great story, personal experience. You know what it takes to get the job done, so to speak.
I do. Okay. And again, really felt it was important that an entity bring that extra compassion, professionalism, and trust to families and businesses when they need it most.
Okay, so now let's talk about, first tell the folks what you respond to, but then I want to talk about what a customer should do when they have a tragedy, and then I want to go back to, and we'll talk in detail, how you remediate, let's say, water damage or fire, that kind of thing. So if I have a problem in my home, you're there for water damage, right?
We are.
Fire?
Yes, sir.
Mold remediation?
Mold remediation, absolutely.
And what am I leaving out?
Biohazard.
Biohazard.
That's correct.
Interesting one. Now, how would I have biohazard in my home, or is that commercial?
You very well could in your home. Any type of tragedy, and that's how I boil our services down to people, is any type of tragedy in a home or business we can assist with. But when we talk about biohazard specifically, that could be anything from a deer that jumped into someone's pool and drowned and they don't know how to get it out.
Okay.
To a possible bodily fluid mistake that happened in a house and needed to be cleaned up, or unfortunately maybe a suicide situation that needed some cleanup.
Oh, wow.
Anything that involves human bodily fluids.
Okay. I'm the dumb homeowner. Trust me, I am a dumb homeowner. I go to church Sunday morning. I come home, and there's water pouring through the ceiling, the upstairs bathroom. I know what I do. I go into a panic because I said, I'm the dumb homeowner, right? I wouldn't even know how to turn off the water in my house. I'm one of them. I told you earlier, I fish. I don't do home repairs.
Okay.
That's exactly why we gave you the water shutoff
He
valve.
did. He gave me this nice thing, and believe me, it goes on my. It says main water shutoff. So now I'm going to go put this there after I figure out where it is, but so that I know where that shutoff is. Okay, so I've got this problem now that's going on, and as I understand it, it was interesting talking to you. That responsibility is mine to alleviate this problem as fast as I can. So how do you work with homeowners? I mean, what should homeowners do if they encounter something like this?
Your statement's absolutely correct. It is your responsibility as a homeowner to mitigate the loss as much as possible and to react as quickly as possible. So first and foremost, we want everyone to understand that it is the homeowner's right to choose who they have provide restoration services for them. Many homeowners, again, at a time like this, no one thinks about emergency services in advance. We'd love for more people to think about it in advance, so you had that trusted resource that you knew was there for you when and if you do have a problem. But the homeowner is responsible, again, for mitigating that loss as much as possible and reacting quickly. So a lot of homeowners are under the misunderstanding that they have to talk to their insurance company first. If they know they have coverage, they can go ahead and contact, first and foremost, a plumber to correct the source if it is a water problem.
Okay.
We need a plumber out there to correct the source, and then obviously a restoration company responding as quickly as possible to, again, mitigate that loss and deal with that loss. The sooner you can begin to deal with it, the less overall impact it's going to have.
Okay, now tell the folks how they get in touch with you. Your website, because I'm sure there's folks that are listening that are probably saying right now, I've got this problem. Maybe I need to call these folks. Give them your website and how to get in touch with you.
That's right. First of all, we are 24/7/365, and they can reach us via our website at drypatrolcolumbus.com, and there's a button they can click on right there on the front page if they're having an emergency that'll walk them through exactly what they need to do to contact us via the web. Or they can always call us any time of day or night at 740-417-9006.
Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about your services, okay? I'm going to let you talk, Bob.
Okay.
We've heard enough of American Idol over here. I'm kidding you, man. And I think it's important because you're out in the field. You're the general manager. I imagine you're out there
I see everything.
Responding. You
Yes,
get
sir.
to see it all.
Yep.
Okay. What does it mean when I use the term water remediation? Explain to the audience what you guys can do for them.
Well, I think that when you say the word remediation, you maybe want to use that more towards the mold side of things.
Okay.
With water, you're trying to mitigate the loss, meaning prevent further migration of the water to other parts of the home, and overall lessen the amount that claim, if it ends up being a covered insurance claim, lessen the amount that claim is going to cost the insurance company. And that's where Brian said it's important for the homeowner to understand that it's their responsibility to mitigate that loss.
Okay.
If they decide that it's not that big of a deal and they wait a couple of days before they make a decision, there's problems that go along with that, and so it's as the homeowner's responsibility.
You may develop mold.
You could.
Okay,
and
so now what's mold remediation?
Mold remediation is going in and removing the mold itself, as well as any unseen particles.
Because mold is kind of one of the things that crawls into the walls.
Well, it also is in the air. It puts out spores. Mold? It can be, and it can be for sensitive groups of people, elderly, children under 6, immune deficient people. There's a multitude of different reasons that you could be more susceptible, but there's a couple different varieties of mold that are more toxic to those people, as well as healthy people like you and I, that it could become an issue. So to mitigate that loss is very important, first and foremost, because it's going to prevent mold from growing as long as it's handled correctly.
Starting with the water problem, right?
Yes.
The water problem leads to the mold.
Absolutely.
Can lead to the mold problem.
It can.
Okay,
Absolutely.
but here's a call that I get. I get this all the time. It happens every spring and every fall. Okay? People get, this is again, I don't know anything about remodeling. I assume it's their sewers backing up. There's an overflow of water. They had a family room in the basement or a game room or whatever it is, and I get the call, bring me out a dumpster. I've got to remove the carpet. I've got to do all that. I had 2 feet of water. So if I'm calling you while this event is happening, what is it that you can do for me?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to come out and assess the situation.
Okay.
We're going to determine the water source and what kind of water it is. There's 3 different sources of water. Category 1, 2, and 3 water. So if we determine that it's Category 1 water, first of all, your carpet does not need to go.
It's clear water.
It's
I read
clear.
that on your website.
Yeah. Category 1 water would be a freshwater main break.
Okay.
But keep in mind, Category 1 water with time and temperature can migrate into Category 2 and or 3 water.
Well, it's what Brian said.
Yes.
Mitigate it as soon as possible.
So if you had a sewer backup like you were speaking of that came out of the floor drain or wherever it may have come from, we're going to come in and determine that source of water, and we're going to follow a standard of care that's written by the governing body over the restoration industry, and that is the IICRC, and it's the Institute of Cleaning, the Institute of Inspection, Cleaning, and Restoration Certification. Sorry, it's a long acronym.
Okay.
But
so
there's
you
a
have
standard.
standards by which you operate. Now,
We
you
do.
said something here. I want to interrupt you. If it's Category 1, clear water, I'm going to call you right away because I don't want to go through getting rid of carpet, all that kind of stuff. What do? You come in with vacuums?
Yes.
How do you handle it?
We come in and we'll extract whatever water's in the floor, in the carpet pad. And if the pad has a vapor barrier built into it, we can't move water through plastic.
Right.
So in those situations, regardless of what kind of water it is, we have to remove the pad. So the water gets extracted, and then we set up a drying environment in that room to dry that carpet. And it's called floating carpet. It's fairly simple, but we can save the carpet.
And then you're going to dry my walls, hopefully.
Absolutely. Yep.
How do you dry a wall?
There's many different ways we can dry a wall.
Yeah, I'll trust you.
Okay, so if the water came from the ceiling down, in the example that you gave us, there's some wall drying systems that we can incorporate into the wall, opening up some holes in the wall. The easiest way to dry a wall, because you have to understand there's insulation inside.
Right.
Sometimes there's not, but most of the time there is. We would, depending on how wet that drywall was and the kind of damage that had occurred due to the water, sometimes you just remove the drywall. And dry the structure out inside. We do have drying systems that we can incorporate where we can save that wall, and we try to do that if it's possible. But it's all based on air movement and temperature and applying energy, which you increase the temperature and the air movement transfers that energy, that heat energy, into that wet material, and that's what actually does the drying for you. So the dehumidification set up in the room to pick up that evaporated moisture as we evaporate it, and we just set up that drying environment. Regardless if we're trying to dry ceilings, walls, floors, there's many different things we dry out, and a lot of different tools we use to do that job. But drying a wall, there's not really one good answer.
It just depends on the situation.
Yeah, and it also depends. You have wallpaper. If there's wallpaper on the wall, you're not going to dry the wall out. It's similar to putting a vapor barrier on a carpet pad. So,
okay, well, I understand, but what you've just told me is you know how to do it, and you've got the tools.
Absolutely.
You just have to assess the situation,
yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, we got to take a break, and after the break, we'll come back and we'll explore more of this. Okay, we'll be right back.
I'm Dr. Buzzworth, DC, with Buckeye Physical Medicine and Rehab, Columbus's largest hormone replacement center, helping both men and women. For a limited time, we are offering a complete hormone assessment for only $35. Our proactive approach provides safe and productive results to treat your low T and increase your energy. Buckeye Physical Medicine and Rehab patients have access to the largest range of wellness therapies not available elsewhere, with physicians dedicated to your health. Call Buckeye Physical Medicine and Rehab at 614-721-LOW-T. That's 614-721-LOW-T, or visit BuckeyePMR.com today.
Hi, this is Marty Reed, and I'm the owner of Frog Hauling. We are Columbus's only green residential mini dumpster service. If you want to clean your garage, you want to clean your basement, or maybe clean your yard, give Frog Hauling a call, 258-3764. At Frog Haul, we also service contractors, and if only the best product will do for your customer, give Frog Hauling a call. Visit us at froghauling.com or call us at 614-258-3764. Welcome back, everyone. Once again, we are talking with Bob Harris and Brian Daughtry of Drypatrol, which is a remediation company. If you have that disaster at your home where a pipe breaks, fire, you got mold, whatever the heck it is, and you need emergency services, this is the company you call. Tell the folks once again what your website is and how they can get in touch with you.
Our website is drypatrolcolumbus.com. And our 24/7/365 phone number is 740-417-9006.
Okay, one of the things that we were talking about was kind of how you handle a problem. And I'll let you guys figure out who wants to respond to this. Okay. But what you really described to me is that you are a restoration company, or try to approach the problem with a restoration mentality versus, oh, you got water damage, we're going to come and rip everything out and throw it all away and you get to start over. And I think that's really an important distinction, because I think that speaks a lot about how professional your company is. You understand the problem, and people are already feeling bad, and it's a big tragedy, and they want minimal invasion into their life. We all do. Okay, so talk a little bit about the philosophical approach, or how you approach. What makes you different than one of those other companies?
Well, as Bob mentioned previously, one of the biggest distinguishing factors is that we can handle situations in a number of different ways. What we've seen with some of our competitors is just a go in and tear it all out mentality, and we've gone above and beyond when it comes to the training and certifications and knowledge required to do this business and do it the right way, to be prepared to handle situations as they should be, with the intention and the overall goal of being able to restore or save everything possible, versus just going in and turning. I've talked to so many homeowners that just found themselves in awe because they went upstairs after a project started in their basement and came back down to nothing being left, with no notice in advance that everything was going to be taken out. And so we go again above and beyond with the customer to really manage their expectations, to get their buy-in and what our approach is going to be, so there are no surprises. Again, this is a time that's traumatic enough. It doesn't need to be more traumatic, because the hardwood floors that had been in your family home for 100 years all of a sudden got ripped out without trying to be salvaged.
Yeah.
When we talk about hardwood floors, that's another differentiator we have. We have a hardwood floor salvage guarantee program, and that is, if we're contacted within the first 24 hours of the water loss, we will guarantee that we will salvage or save the hardwood floor, versus doing demolition on that hardwood floor. And if we're not able to do so, there won't be any charges associated with the hardwood drying aspect of that project. So just yet another distinguishing factor about Drypatrol.
Well, and you brought this up earlier, it's a customer or the homeowner's responsibility to take care of the problem as soon as they can. And if they don't, well, could they run into a problem with their insurance company?
Absolutely. We see it every day where a homeowner had a water problem in their house. That could have been a leaky water line to the ice maker in the freezer that leaked over weeks and they just didn't deal with it, to a full-blown pipe burst in the basement that they decided to wait to deal with because they didn't want to deal with it, whatever the reason might be. But if then mold is a result of the after fact there, and because they did not react to it appropriately, often they find themselves in a situation where the insurance company will not cover the costs associated with the mold remediation, which is something they at that time have no choice but to deal with due to the health risks associated with it. So again, it's all about timely decisions and, again, choosing the right partner to deal with the situation.
Well, the other thing, I'd just tell the audience this. If you're looking to sell a piece of real estate in today's arena, one of the questions is on the disclosure that you are asked to sign is, are you aware of mold? And even if you're not aware of mold and you have a house inspection and they come and find mold, guess what? You're going to take care of it. And I know, not from my experience, but people who didn't realize that they had mold, that can be an expensive proposition depending upon how much mold actually has accumulated within the house. And a lot of times people aren't aware of it. So my point here is if you suspect that you have moisture, and it can be because your attic isn't ventilated properly, things like that, that create mold situations, don't let it go. No, because, man, that stuff is like penetrates into everything, and you're going to pay a pretty price to have that remediated. And you're not, if you don't think you're going to sell a home as is, because you're not going to.
That's right.
People won't buy that problem.
And in almost every case, that is pure out-of-pocket expense.
Yeah.
So the longer you wait to deal with the situation, the more expensive it's going to be when you do finally deal with it.
Right. Well, we know the damage that water can cause. So anyways.
Home inspectors find it all the time, and we get calls from them.
Come in and remediate it.
Yeah, just like you explained. You know, John Doe has a problem in his home, and he's trying to sell it, and there's a person interested in it, but they're not really interested in it unless this problem's taken care of. So we see it all the time.
Well, banks step in, too.
Yeah,
banks
absolutely.
won't give you a mortgage if you're buying a home that it's been identified that there's a serious mold problem. They're not going to make a loan on, something that
they won't.
There's a problem with. They want all that taken care of. Well, as usual, not enough time to talk about all the things that we need to talk about. But once again, tell the folks how to get in touch with you.
Again, our website is drypatrolcolumbus.com, and our phone number is 740-417-9006.
Okay. Well, I'm going to recommend that you call Dry Patrol just so they can send you a refrigerator magnet. How's that? They gave
We'd be
me
happy
one.
to.
They gave me a pack here. So this is going to go somewhere on my refrigerator so that when I walk home after or come in the door after I've gone to church, now it might not be this year, might not be for 3 or 4 years, maybe 5. I'm going to know who to call to take care of that problem before my house gets totally damaged. And I'm sure you'd welcome that call if somebody calls and says, I want a magnet to put on my refrigerator, right?
I'll send anybody a magnet that calls.
I would love to talk to people and help educate them on what they need to know.
And the water shutoff thing. I'm going to put that,
Very
too.
important.
Okay. Well, listen, I want to thank both of you because I think, like I said, when we started talking what we were going to do today, we always think of remodeling, but a lot of times this stuff is a precursor to the remodeling because, people might go on vacation for a week and they come home to the problem. First, it's got to be cleaned up, and then they can get into the remodeling after that they weren't expecting to do. So I'm happy that you guys were on the show. Thanks once again. It was informative. And audience, as usual, have a great week, and we'll see you next weekend.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.